Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. So here we are, it's Monday again. Good old Monday. Hope you've all had a good weekend, done something nice, viewed something nice, drank something nice, given someone a hug, all those good things that make us feel good. I hope you've done those this weekend. So, it is Monday, and as always, to be honest, doesn't have to be Monday for me to not be in the mood for twonks day, so I'm definitely not in the mood. But Monday, I'm never in the mood for twonks, of course. But Mondays, I'm especially not in the mood for twonks. Just, it's going to be a twonkful week in the world of true crime, isn't it? It's going to be full of twonks. And I'm going to talk about some twonks today in this video. Sometime later on today, the trial will be restarting of the Monster Dads, Preston Davies' so-called dad's trial. So I'll be continuing with that, but today's a very hectic day. Mondays are always a busy day for me, classes wise. For those of you who don't know, I'm a Spanish teacher as well. And I've just got a lot today. Anyway, never mind. So I will try my best to get back on sometime today to talk about whatever happens today in the trial. If not, might have to be tomorrow morning or even late tonight. We just have to see how the day comes out, doesn't it? Depends on twonks sometimes, doesn't it? What do twonks get up to? Spoil my day. Anyway, so thank you. First thing I want to say thank you to everyone for all your subscribes, your likes, your shares, the free ways you can help my channel. Thank you so much for that. Oh, and I should tell you, of course, what we're going to talk about in this video are Nancy Guthrie's Nutty Neighbours. Honest to God, I've been incensed over this weekend. Just what is wrong with people? But anyway, so yeah, thank you. Please put that DNA, leave that DNA on the subscribe button or the like button. Thank you, very special thank you to those of you who sent Kofi's or bought merchandise, which is on my Ko-fi page as well. Thank you for those who've done that, or PayPal'd me, or Bizum me, or any of the extra ways, and especially to you members, of course. We'll be having members live this Thursday. It's members live week. Thank you so much for that. All those are the ways that you support my channel in extra ways. Thank you. Hello, lovely lurkers. Hope you're all well. Hello to replay crew. Hope you're well too. And somebody's in the chat. Let's have a look. Hi, Daniel. What's up? Oh, what's up? Just the usual Monday morning feeling. So what is it about Mondays? I don't know. It's strange, isn't it? I suppose it's the beginning of the week after you've had the weekend off. But, I think even people who aren't working anymore, they still Mondays. It's just something about Mondays. The Boomtown Rat syndrome, isn't it? Tell me why I don't like Mondays. Yeah. Hi, Julie. I think on the Ko-fi page, Julie's asking how you pay for the merchandise. Thanks for asking about that, Julie. I think on the Ko-fi page, you pay on there and it goes through PayPal, but I don't think you need a PayPal account. I think you go into the wherever it says pay. If not, because I know if you do want to order anything, I know you have Bizum because you're in the same country as me. You can do it that way. You can pay for it that way and just send me a WhatsApp. send me a WhatsApp, and just let me know what you want and what message you want on it, what photo, etc. Hi, Sean. So yeah, you can always send me a WhatsApp message with the details of what you want to order, and do it by Zoom if you can't do it on the Ko-fi page. Julie, now, sorry, I'm gonna. Somebody put a waffle badge on, so I'm just gonna have a little bit waffle before I talk about Nancy's Neighbours, which, honest to God, what are those people like? It's like they're trying to pretend Nancy Guthrie never existed. The memorial's disappeared. Somebody has taken the memorial away, and before that, somebody, which is especially well, she defaced the easement where the streamers sit. Anyway, that's what I'm going to talk about in this video. Just beyond me. This woman disappears from the heart of their neighbourhood, and all they can be bothered in doing, whether you agree with the streamers or not, to me, it's not about the streamers. It's about the fact that they're not doing anything illegal, unlike Porch guy who did something illegal and turned up and kidnapped an 84-year-old woman. She's probably dead. Where were these neighbours then? Anyway, I've forgotten what I was saying then. Hi, Sean. Yeah, you have problems. Some people have problems with different things, don't they? Some people have problems with PayPal, some people don't. Anyway, gosh, I was saying something. Oh, Julie, yes. So for those who don't know, Julie, regular viewer on my channel and a member, thank you. And she's Madrid, Spain, but south of Spain, nowhere near Madrid. Well, unfortunately, because the Pope is there. Have you been to see the Pope? You've been to see the Pope, Julie? I've been watching the, bits and pieces that are coming out on social media. I love this Pope video. I mean, I'm not a Catholic, I'm a bit anti-Catholicism. Just religion in general, doesn't tend to do it for me, even though I do believe in God and Christ and things like that. Because, there's always wars, isn't there, over religion. But this Pope, I don't know, Pope, the things he says, way Trump and J.D. Vance and the other antichrists around the world, the way Dems war unequivocally condemns war, and it's quite funny, really. Of course, he was brought up in New York, so he was the other antichrist in the White House. They were trying to claim him, it's the Pope, blah de blah de blah. Well, the thing is, his parents were immigrants, so he's very anti-Trump's immigration stance. His parents were immigrants. I think he's from Britain originally, so he speaks Spanish. He was brought up in New York, as I say, so he's got like a New York accent, really, hasn't he? But they were like, oh yeah, first American Pope, and J.D. Vance, who's a self-claimed Christian, what a Christian he is, or he keeps telling us he is. And then, of course, the Pope came out with quite a few stern words for the Trump administration. And when J.D. Vance made some comment about praying, and the Pope said, God doesn't listen to warmongers. That's more or less what he said. So, I love the way he calls out the... so, yeah, I think he's a nice man. I'm not in favour of, the Vatican and all the riches and everything. But, if there's got to be a Pope, at least he's giving a good message. He's giving out a good message. And apparently, since Pope Leo became Pope, the Catholic Church has increased in size massively. People are joining Catholic again, because, of course, the Catholic Church, with all the scandals about priests, had a very good time. Like, but improve that, and I think that's good, because I do think it's important to people for people to have a code to live by. Whether whatever your religion, if there's a code, a good code, of course, positive code to live by according to your religion, it can't think. I suppose that's one good thing. Gives people a sense of rules, if you like, or moral to live by. Because at the end of the day, we are individuals and we make our choice about the action we take, and we're the one. We will bear responsibility if we do bad things. You can call it karma, you can call it whatever you like, but I do believe in that very strongly. And I think whoever's done whatever this to Nancy Guthrie's memorial over there in Arizona, I don't know what sort they're inviting on themselves. I just don't even know why they've done it. I don't get Nancy's neighbours at all. So what's happened? Well, of course, there's no news, as far as developments are concerned. Yeah, sure. And I suppose most of the riches were donated or gifted over the centuries. I mean, it's certainly that the papacy years ago was as corrupt as you can get. I mean, you've only got to look at the Borgias, but I think it's tried really hard to sort of come into the what's the word? Come into modern times. It's got to deal with modern science. When the contraception's a difficult thing, because of course in the Bible it was let there be life, but then what was happening in poor countries, or what is still happening, is people are having children and there's no food to feed these children, and people are either not using contraception because the church says they're not supposed to, or as well there's just nothing else to do. I was talking about this with number one son the other day. What else are they going to do? It's about the only pleasure they get when you live in a place where you can't hardly even get food or whatever it is. A miserable life, for a lot of people who live in very poor places. Look, they do have SEX because it's probably the only good thing thing they enjoy doing. It doesn't cost anything. But ultimately it comes in because they just keep having children and they can't afford to feed their children. So anyway, and then of course the last two popes, because this Pope Leo and Pope Francis were both more lenient about homosexuality, things like that. So it's difficult being the Pope in a way, because you can't just come out and say, oh yeah, you can do this, you can do that, because you've got to abide by the scriptures and the Bible, and you've got a code that you've got to work with. This let there be life, isn't it? The anti-abortion issues anyway. Abortion is different from contraception. They are two completely separate issues, aren't they? Because you can't use abortion as a contraception. That's that is a terrible thing to do. I do know people who've done that. They say contraception, they just get into the wind whether they get pregnant or not, and then I can just have an abortion. I have been told that. Somebody said that to me when I was at university, and I was just like looking at it. So I don't agree with that. But contraception, yeah, everyone should have the right to it, and then they can decide whether they want to have children or not. Anyway, we're getting into a whole nother thing now, aren't we? But people's actions, people are responsible for their own actions. Including me. We've all done things. Well, I have done things in my life that when I look back, I think, oh, I probably shouldn't have done that, shouldn't have said that, or that wasn't the right route to take, or if I could go back, I would do it differently. But I can't change it. Can't change anything that's happened. But if you genuinely regret and you ask for forgiveness, according to the Catholic Church and religious process, we do get but you have to really mean it when there's no point hollow row, if you like, where people say, "I'm sorry," but mean it, and then they do it again or whatever. You've got to genuinely mean it. And of course, in this world, there is evil as well. There is good and there is evil. And I think evil's been visiting Nancy Guthrie's neighbours, from what I can see. So, of course, Nancy disappeared. I don't even know how many days ago now. It's 4 months ago, isn't it? Was it end of February? Or was it end of January? It's been so long. I can't remember the exact date. She went missing long time ago. And we don't know anything still. So, not that we matter as matters. They're still having to carry on. So, of course, over those months, a memorial grew outside Nan's house. On the corner there, people were going, laying flowers, messages. Then the residents didn't want everyone to donate to Nan's favourite charity. Well, we've only got their word. It's his favourite charity. And, why should people give money to charity? If I agree with the charity, I would never give money to charity. I give money to local charities here, mainly animal ones, to be honest, and those people know where that money's going, and I'm not paying some CEOs 125 grand a year wage. Can bugger off. Anyway, so yeah, the Neighbours Association have been difficult, haven't they, in general? So, and what sort of transpired over the weekend is this disappeared completely. Talk, of course, Nancy was very religious, as are Savannah, and that just the family. Well, I don't know if Annie is, but Savannah definitely is. So he's issued this. Which is a new message on her Instagram. Make sure it's sharing. So she's been, they've been quite quiet, haven't they? I think her last message was on Mother's Day. The King's birthday, Sean. Yeah, well, I won't be celebrating that. As you know, I'm not a fan of the King or the royal family in general. So the thing is, I can't cope with the messages they put out. Anyway, never mind. So here is the new message that Savannah has put on her Instagram. And funnily enough, angels, is quite appropriate for what we're talking about. And it's, "Oh my soul, it cries out. Soul, it cries out." So, it's a sort of poignant message, bring her home. And that's it. She's posted that. I don't know what's made her, I don't know what's inspired that post, but I think you can see. I mean, I just don't know how they, just awful to think of. You think if you've lost your mum. I lost my mum years ago, sadly to dementia, and that's bad enough. At least I knew where she was. I know where she was interred. I went to a funeral. There was a closure. There was a rite of passage. Imagine your mom disappearing and you don't even know where she is or what's happened to her. It's just beyond belief, isn't it? Your mum, your grandma, anybody that you know 84 years old, sleeping in her bed where she should have been safe. The very place where, if you can't be safe sleeping in your own bed at night, where can you be safe? And then just taken in the middle of the night, just plucked from her bed. And the blood are found on the porch and no real clues. And we're waiting for this DNA, but really, as far as we know, I mean, I hope against hope. They have got someone in their sights. It's just a question of crossing the I's and dotting the T's, but we don't know. And that's us, how it makes us feel. And it's not family, is it? Oh, Sean, it is a crazy disease. Yeah, it runs in my family apparently. Well, it does because my mum, a brother, I've lost a brother already to it, and I've got a sister who's got it at the moment. So the other three of us, we're just waiting for it to happen to us. It's just often I think about it and I think, well, would you know that you had it? I mean, because I think for the person themselves, when they've got dementia, they sort of, I know it's sort of, they're not aware of it. Do you know what I mean? It's like when my brother was ill with it, all during COVID, he was in a home. And that was very difficult, because because they couldn't go and visit him, not face to face, couldn't go and give him a hug. They could only go, my other to go into the garden and talk to him through the window. And I used to phone him, but of course it's very difficult phoning someone who's got dementia because I don't know. It just, he would say to me, if he had the dog, my dog's like a bark. So I say, oh yeah, they're just bark dog outside. And he'd say to me, I'll come and take him for a walk for you if you want. It's really sweet. And I used to say, oh yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. Go, right, I will. Next time I've got some time, he'd say, I'll come round and walk your dog. I've forgotten that he's in Manchester. I'm in Spain and all that, it just, but of course you just have to go along with him. And actually what the home he was in, the carers were so beautiful there, really, really. If you get carers looking after your loved ones that are good, you're so lucky. And they were lovely, and I was in contact with them quite a lot. And one of them, she used to play my Spanish videos, like the alphabet and learning Spanish videos, to the videos on the big screen. And my brother would say, oh, isn't she lovely? I know her. I think I know her from somewhere. Oh, things that happen. Anyway, bless him. He died a couple of years ago now. But yeah, I don't think he really was aware, all through COVID and that. I don't think he was aware of anything that was going on. So that's a blessing for him, isn't it? So anyway, this is the message that has put, that Savannah has put on her page. So sort of, that's it. It's just that. She hasn't made this time or anything. She just put up that post. My soul, it cries out, soul, it cries out, bring her home. So in the meantime, back at the ranch, as they say, or back in Tucson, Arizona, you've got these neighbors ringing the police every 5 minutes. Starting to, honest to God, the police in the Pima County Sheriff's Department should turn around to these neighbors and say, stop wasting our time. We've got real crime to be getting on with. As I say, it doesn't matter what you think about the streamers. Maybe you agree with them being there, maybe you don't. But the thing is, they're not doing anything illegal. So why are the neighbours keep phoning the police? One poor streamer, he actually got a ticket. because he was like, I don't know, an inch into the road where the way he was sat or whatever. So don't forget, you're not allowed to park there at all now. That's been for ages. You can't park your car there. So they have to park, wherever somebody lets them park, or get someone give them a lift there, or they get an Uber or whatever they do. And they station themselves. There's an easement, public easement, and that's where it's just off the road. He was there the other day, and somebody had put all rocks and rolled cactus over this easement just so it'd make it difficult for the streamers to sit there. And he went over to remove it, and there was dog shit all over it as well. Loads of dog excrement. What is wrong with these people? Who would? Can you imagine what sort of person? This is regardless of who's kidnapped Nancy Guthrie. So these bloody neighbours that are out there in the middle of the night putting dog poo on the easement and cactus and what have you. I wonder where they were when this freak was there kidnapping Nancy Guthrie. Shame they weren't hanging around then trying to put dog poo anywhere. They've just missed all this going on. They missed somebody walking into Nancy's home and taking her from her bed, didn't they? With a gun. Missed all that. Oh my God, one of these streamers goes and sits outside on the easement there. Oh my God, they're on the phone to the police. Just so quick. But they didn't know anything about this guy, did they? So it's really starting to annoy me. And now, because I can see that it must be annoying having people sitting outside your house and videoing everything that's going on. But, it's not illegal for a start. So and now I'm starting to feel the more sympathy I've got is for the streamers, because they're just who is the weirdo? What sort of person sits there in the middle? Because I'm presuming they do it in the middle of the night because nobody ever sees them do it. Who sits there at 1, 2 in the morning and thinks, oh, I know what I'll do. I'll go and put a load of dog excrement and cactus so those streamers can't sit down. What sort of person would do that? And now the memorial has disappeared completely. So all the flowers have gone, all the nice messages, paintings, things that were put there by people for respect for Nancy, and the fact that this old lady has just disappeared to a puff of smoke and nobody knows where she is. There's a family grieving for her. It's gone. Who went and took that? So where were these nosy neighbours then when somebody went and took the memorial away? Where's the video of that? What? Anyway, let me know what you think. Do you think whether or not you think the streamers should be there? I mean, let me know if maybe the streamers should jog on, but but you can't make them. They're not doing anything illegal. This is the thing. The people that are doing something illegal are the neighbours, really. The neighbours taking away that memorial. Those things did not belong to the neighbours. Whatever had been left there, if it belongs to anyone, it's to the Guthrie family. Unless it's Annie who's been and took it all away. Who knows? I don't think so. I think this is going to be the neighbourhood association or Sue Ellen. So Sue Ellen, so the real nasty bitch in all this is a neighbour called Sue Ellen. And she admitted to a criminal network that she put all the cactus and the rubble there. I'm going to show that video in a minute. Though she denied the dog excrement, she said it was animals. But like Alex from Criminal Network said to her, Well, there was loads of it, and it was dog poo. So what she's done is collected up a load of dog poo, either her or somebody else. So some nutter has done it, collected up a load of dog poo and threw it there on purpose, right near Nancy's house, just to stop people sitting there. Huh? What? What? Where's the police then? When someone's doing that, that's got to be against the law, hasn't it? Anyway, let's have a look at this video of Alex from Criminal Network talking to Sue Ellen when Sue Ellen actually admits doing it. And thank you to Alex for the video. It's on his Twitter account. I follow him on Twitter. Oh, so this is somebody else posting it, but is his video. Here is Sue Ellen admitting she put the rocks, cactus, etc. on the easement to try and stop independent journalists from being there, causing one to get a charge. Oh, and you know, streamers who actually got a ticket for being there. Funnily enough, he's black. Funny that, isn't it? In this neighbourhood, you know, the only one who's actually got a ticket is a black guy. It just makes you think, doesn't it? You know, why has he got a ticket and the others haven't? Could it be because he's black, possibly? Probably. Anyway, let's have a look at this. So, Alex still goes. I don't think you stop him going there until he's ready to stop going. So look, the memorial's gone. The easement where he's sitting, I think that's where all the crap was.
Away from me. That's a polite request. I have.
So this is Sue Ellen. She said, oh, this is a polite request. She's not a polite woman. She's a horrible
Away
woman.
from me. That's a polite request. I have the right to request that you don't photograph.
No, she's always bleating on about her rights. She's got the right to request that they move on. They're not even outside her house. And the thing is, she has got the right to request a move on, but if they don't move on, well, what's she going to do? She hasn't got the right to, you know, put all that crap over where they normally sit and put dog poo all over the place. She hasn't got that right. And, you know, what exactly are they doing that is so irritating to her? And why don't she get a life? And why don't she think, as an elderly woman herself, thank God some streamers sitting out there, because some nutter might come and whisk her away at some point. Doesn't care about Nancy, does she? Whoever took that memorial, they don't give a shit about Nancy. This neighbourhood, it's like The Wicker Man, if you've ever seen that film. It's like, it's just, let's pretend that Nancy never lived here, never disappeared, never was kidnapped from here by a masked man with a gun. You know, let's just pretend that everything's fine. Fine, it's all fine. It's crazy. But you know, the thing is, this perpetrator has not been caught. I will 100% agree that once the perpetrator's caught, it's time for the streamers to move on and start reporting on the trial or whatever. But he's not been caught. Nobody knows who he is. I'd personally be glad of some great big guy like Criminal Network sitting outside of my house protecting me. You know what I mean? Because you know, he's quite a big, scary guy. He's not scary, but he's got a lot of tattoos, so he could look scary to people. So he certainly can handle himself. So he could come and camp outside my house any day, every day, if I thought I needed protecting. You know, so I just don't get it. I just do not get it. What the big issue is. I think personally, I think, God, I've forgotten what I was going to say now. She's like, she's a control freak. She's trying to control that whole environment, you know. Well, you know, Sean, I don't think you can do much at Nancy's, that's true, but they're there and they're keeping Nancy's name out there. They're not, now don't forget the ones that are there regular now, like JLR goes back every now and again. I can't talk about JLR because he's under domestic abuse allegations. And so I can't make my mind up whether I even want to mention his name. So, you know, and that's a whole nother story. Oh, there's all sorts going on in YouTube land between the streamers and that. But Alex, he lives nearby. And the other guy that got the ticket, the black guy, I think it's DA Juice or something, his channel. I can't remember the exact name. I mean, I don't watch them, but occasionally I do. That's a lie because I do occasionally watch them. But they live nearby. And they're there, keep talking about it. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing there. The thing is, it's their channels. It's their viewers want them to be there. You know, if I was there, I would be there. Maybe not every day, but I would certainly go there. You know, that's social media. And it's not up to Sue Ellen to tell people what they can do and what they can't do. Nothing to do with her whatsoever. And as I say, if Alex wants to come and sit outside my house, if I felt I was in danger, I'd be quite happy with someone protecting me. She's a weird, you know, to me, I just don't get it. She's just trying to control the whole neighbourhood. Some of the neighbours are happy to have them there as well. They want something to be done. Or Nancy's neck. If these streamers weren't out there, a lot of people wouldn't even be talking about Nancy now. You know, so at least it's one thing it's doing is, you know, Nancy is still being talked about. Oh, and, you know, I was watching a few podcasts over the weekend about missing people. People have gone missing in strange circumstances. They don't even get a mention on the media, most people. There's like thousands of people, millions, I suppose, all over the world. Never even get a headline one day. Never mind the coverage that Nancy has had. You know, not that it's helped because they still haven't found whoever did it. But, you know, there's people out there with lost loved ones who are complaining bitterly. They never get any coverage, media coverage, you know, so I think really, personally, I think until this perpetrator is identified and charged, I don't think it's a bad thing. I mean, it was crazy at one point, wasn't it? Remember back in the early days, everyone was there, not only the YouTube streamers, but the mainstream media, really until the war in Iraq. They were all there, weren't they? They were all, you know, they were all there day in, day out. And then after that, you know, it sort of died down, didn't it? But every now and again, they go back there. Now, there are some things that I don't agree with. There was a weekend where a few of the streamers were there and they were like having a party or something. You had JLR wandering around in a balaclava similar to the Perps. I didn't agree with that either. Dancing, what was it? That Ted Bundy investigates. He was like doing moonwalk dancing. You know, he was crazy. I don't agree with that because that's disrespectful too. But just sitting there and doing whatever they're doing, as I say, their listeners want to watch, their viewers want to watch them. Why not? Why not? And because this guy has not been caught. As I say, I think it would be different. That's the time to leave that neighbourhood. So let's put to waffling now.
Car or any kids.
He's sat right back
You're
in
not
the road.
supposed to be up here. You're harassing the neighbors around here by being.
So the volume's not very good, or the sound's not very good, because there's a lot of wind. He could do the windsock on his mic. But she said, "Oh, you're harassing the neighbourhood." How is he harassing the neighbourhood? I don't agree with that. I really don't. He's sat right back from the houses and everything. He's not sat. She's the one stopping and harassing him.
I don't want to interrupt you, but you can't park there. I was, but someone put poop down there. Yeah. Someone lined poop all along the side of the easement there. Dog poop.
We have put up stuff to keep you off of that's my property.
So you're the one who did that? That's not your property, that's the easement.
No.
So why did you put...
Easement. I own the property and the county has an easement.
Oh, she's saying it's her property. She admits there that she did it. She put all the stuff there. She owns the property, blah, de, blah, de, blah, which the town hall has the easement. So, and he said to her, you can't park there, because, of course, she's not supposed to park on the road. No one's allowed to park on that road anymore. Anyway, she's not really, strictly speaking, parked. She's stopped for a minute. But she's turned off her motor, and he reminds her of that. You know, she's a very strange woman, personally. I think, well, and she's just, to be fair, she's just giving him more things to show his viewers as well. So I just don't get it. She can't have much of a life, can she?
Tell me more. Okay, but you can't park there right now. You don't have your seatbelt on. And you're parked right now.
No, I am leaving right now.
Well, you're parked and your car's off. Well, I wish you would have told me before you put the poop down there, because I was moving the rocks with my hands, throwing them into the wash, because they're not supposed to be blocking the easement.
I have the right to
Oh, I know. I saw them. Oh, I sure. You're right. And I saw yours because it was very uniform. But the poop is a little out of hand, don't you think? That was nasty because I had my hands.
That's just animals coming through here.
It was dog poop, and there was a lot of it.
Listen, the javelina come through almost every evening.
Who threw the cactus over there, all over the rocks?
I did.
Why the cactus? I don't get it.
To try and keep you from.
So she's admitted she threw the cactus all over the rocks to try and stop him from standing on the easement. And then he said there was dog poop all over it. And she said, oh, that was not me. You know, that's the dogs going past. Well, it's not true, because there was a lot of it. Somebody had gathered that dog poo up together and threw it there on purpose. It's just disgusting. She's a very strange woman. Now, the thing is, as I say, she's playing right into his hands, because if you look at that video when he's got 3.5 thousand people watching. So, you know, she's giving him something to stream. Why doesn't she just let it go eventually? He will stop going there, you know, or something else will come up. I don't know. Though, to be fair, Alex says he's sticking with it until Nancy's found, and well, good for him. Thank God he is, you know. So, anyway, I'm sure you'll all let me know what you think. But do you not think that it is completely disrespectful to do what she's done? But not only that, whoever, now she's not, see if I've got the thing from the so don't forget, Nancy's memorial has disappeared. Now, there was a lot of stuff there. So the thing is, Nancy memorial. Somebody has sat there and thought, oh, I'm going to pack all that stuff away. They won't have done it in, like, you know, 10 seconds. There was a lot of stuff they've had to go put it somewhere in their van or whatever. I mean, it could have been the perpetrator, isn't it? Here it is. So it's put flowers outside Nancy Guthrie's home, and the memorial and flowers that was once outside has been removed. So he's just put his flowers down there. Who's say? I mean, that could even be Porch guy who's been back there and could have been the neighbourhood association, could have been Sue Ellen, could have been the police. But somebody's taking it. Who's taking it all? Terrible. You know, if people want, they're not breaking any laws. To me, and again, they're giving the streamers something to stream. Look how just lonely that yellow flower looked when there were all the lovely stuff that was there. Messages, drawings, cards. Who's taking it? It's all gone. It's all gone. Where has it gone? Where has it gone? And who's taken it? And why have they taken it? I mean, I don't know what the family thinks about it, but look, I don't know what it feels like to have your mum go missing like that or whatever, obviously, or any loved one. But I know that when your family or your loved one dies and when you have the memorial or the funeral or whatever, it's always comforting to see how many people. I just remember at my dad's funeral. Now, my dad, he was a man, a home bird. He never went out. He only went out to the shops or whatever. No, he wasn't, didn't go out and drinking with his mates or whatever. He just wasn't that sort of man. He was a home family man. That was all he cared about: his garden, his home, his wife, my mum, and the rest of his family. And the people that turned up at his funeral, it was bursting at the seams. And I remember saying, we were all saying, for a man who never left the house hardly except to go on his bike down to the shops, he knew everybody. There were people that all the neighbours, the window cleaner, the insurance man, the people that. So it was, but what I'm trying to say is, for you as a person, it's comforting. So, would the family not have appreciated the fact that people were going and leaving tributes to Nancy? Because she's not been found. This is the other thing that I know I keep saying, but it'd be different if she'd been found and someone had been held accountable, and then it's time to move on then to the focus on them being prosecuted, etc. But we're not at that stage. This woman is still missing, and surely the family takes some comfort from the fact that people care about Nancy and whether she gets found or not. Don't they? I don't know. I feel like I would take comfort from that. That people travel miles to lay flowers at that memorial. It wasn't just people from Arizona. People were turning up, laying flowers or messages or cards or whatever from miles away. And somebody's just picked them all up and took them off. What have they done with it? Now, it may be that they're moving it somewhere else. Sometimes that happens. But there's been no message. They were saying, no, we've decided to move the memorial from Nancy's home to wherever, and we're taking all the things there. That's fine. But nobody's said anything. It's just disappeared. I don't know. It just feels like the memorial suffered the same fate as Nancy, just taken in the middle of the night, and nobody knows why, where, or what happened. It's just like, God, where are who is wandering around this community in the middle of the night? And was it even the perpetrator who did it? Because I feel like that perpetrator will have been back there, don't you think? Maybe not so much now, because of course it's hard. There's only don't forget, there's only a couple of streamers now. It's not like it was. I'm sure the perpetrator was amongst all those, thousands of people that camped out there and went past there in the early days. But he'd probably stick out like sore thumb a bit more now, wouldn't he? If he turned up there. But yeah, I don't know. It just seems to me a bit extra. But yeah, as I say, I was thinking if it was my loved one, I think the fact people cared. I mean, just looking at that now, just that little one bunch of flowers from where it was before. Sad, very sad, I think. Sad. Happened. What do you think about Sue Ellen or any of the neighbours? Don't forget, not all the neighbours are angry with the streamers. There are some neighbours that go past and say, oh, thanks for raising awareness, blah blah blah. But Sue Ellen has taken it upon herself. It's like a crusade, because her life, to me, I just think, is your life so empty, really, that all you can be bothered about is whether Alex is. And Alex, he's always courteous to Nancy, as are the others. They're not rude to the neighbour or whatever, but just irritating them, I suppose, for being there. But anyway, that's the situation. It just made me feel quite sad, that her memorial things have all been taken. Trying to forget that Nancy ever existed. That's how it feels? Like, it's like people like Sue Ellen. It's like if she doesn't, seems to feel like if she doesn't talk about it, it never happened. And yet there she is, an elderly woman. She is a prime candidate for what happened to Nancy. Could be her. Doesn't she want this perpetrator caught? Very odd. It's like, well, I'll tell you what, one thing, I'm grateful for a lot of things when I get up in the morning, and sometimes my neighbour drives me absolutely crazy. But I do these days tend to get up thinking, I'm glad I don't live in Nancy Guthrie's neighbourhood, because nobody seems to give a shit about you whatsoever. And, they're just trying to carry on. I know they've got to carry on as normal. I mean, I don't know. There are places where infamous crimes happen, like in the Nicola Bully case, and you had the villagers from St. Michael's on. I mean, they just wanted all the streamers to go and everything, and I do get it. But don't forget, Nicola, she'd been found by then. I mean, in the couple of weeks when that was a frenzy, wasn't it, when Nicola was in, till she was found in the river. Now that after that, people, they don't want people constantly going on about it. But Nicola, whether we agree with what the official verdict was or not, there had been a verdict, there had been a resolution. But in this case, there has been no resolution. Let's think of some others. I suppose Cromwell Street, maybe, from the Fred West. I mean, often do with properties and things is they take them down, don't they? They did it recently with the Idaho 4 case. Just took the house down. So that people work, because there are ghoulish people who even go and try and find souvenirs from the house. Is that what they're going to do with Nancy's house? Going to pull it down and build it again? Or, you know, you can't just pretend things didn't happen, can you? But anyway, just sort of talk to you about that. I've got to go now. I've got classes. I will see you really soon in the next video, which will probably be, as I say, it might be tonight or it definitely be in the morning, where we'll be going back to the trial of the dads in the Preston Davy case. So until then, thank you so much for watching. Please don't leave. Please don't leave. I meant to say, don't forget your delay, like button, the subscribe, and I'll see you really soon in the next video. I've gone wearing when I'm just about. Until then, may your God go with you. Thank you.